Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Pretty Dirty. I am here with Violet Benson, a sweet, sweet dear friend of mine, also a host of her own podcast, and a very wise, very beautiful human being and soul. I can't wait to have a conversation with her today, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, I want to tell everybody about how you started your brand, Daddy Issues, because you told me that it was out of a you had an alter ego or something, right? Didn't you tell me that? That you were something about, I don't know, I might be getting two stories mixed up, but one of them was like you were insecure or something about, and you were in your job, and maybe it was like the fact that you're Jewish, and so you like made up this whole different identity. Is that true? Didn't you have like a separate thing? You're looking at me like I'm fucking crazy.
No,
But there's some, I'm on to something.
I'm just looking at you because like you just keep going, so I was just letting you
Am
know.
I right? What was it?
Somewhat, yeah. I was an accountant.
Okay. That is just hilarious in and of itself. I can't picture you as
It's really not. I think my personality, actually recently, I've been slowly missing. It's been, I think, a little over 10 years since I was an accountant, and I've been earlier in the year. I mean, the year just started, but I'm saying like January 1st.
Okay.
I was already having a lot of these thoughts where I missed the structure, because I come from public accounting.
Okay.
So those are very large firms, and the structure and the politics there. I mean, the politics are the reason actually why I left, because I did not understand the politics. But the structure itself, I love it so much, and I definitely miss having structure. I miss just using my mathematical brain more. Because also while I was an accountant, prior to being an accountant, I tutored math for around 10 years. That's how I would make money. And I would also take, allegedly, I would take math classes for kids in university when I was still a senior in high school.
This is the Russian in you. Aren't Russians notoriously good at mathematics?
Russian Jews.
Russian
I think that's
Jews.
important to correct.
Is that really?
Yes.
Not just Russians in general.
Well, here's an example. Everyone watch Queen's Gambit.
I love that.
And when she's finally about to play the Russian chess master. Well, fun fact, chess was actually invented in India. A lot of people don't know this, but Indians invented chess. And once it became very popular there, it slowly migrated into Russia. The reason Russia for a long time was winning chess competitions was due to the Russian Jews. During communism, Jews were not allowed to do a lot of things, but when it came to winning for the Russians, we were allowed to do that. And that's why a lot of Russians have engineering degrees, because that was one of the only degrees Russians were allowed to get. And that was the only way they were allowed to go to university as a Jew, or maybe a teacher. That's why my mom has teaching degrees, and my father has multiple engineering degrees. My father used to win math competitions in Russia. So anyway, the Russian Jews were winning all the chess competitions. So when you watch Queen's Gambit, and you see that there's always the KGB with that Russian guy, it's not because they're protecting him. It's actually because the Russians used to bring KGB when they would travel with the Jews, so the Jews wouldn't escape. So,
oh shit.
Yeah.
So they were enslaved, essentially.
No, it's not enslaved, but communism is a different, it's so you can't leave.
Yeah,
communism is a type of country.
Somewhat of enslavement, kind of.
So yeah, so that's when you see in Queen's Gambit, when the KGB is with that chess master, it's because it's in order for them not to escape. So when the Jews were traveling, you want to make sure the Jews are coming back home. And when communism ended is when we were allowed to leave. So it's just that's history, but a lot of people don't know a lot of that history.
A lot of people just don't know anything about history or
But
Jews.
I guess, but Americans, white rich Americans will tell you that socialism works. We just didn't do it right.
It's funny too, because when you talk about like being Jewish and you're so open about it, I'm so proud. But when you guys first moved here, I know you said your dad was really concerned about you talking about the fact that you're Jewish.
Well, my father has a completely different experience experiencing communism than as a Jew than my mother, because my mother looks like me. So she's able to quote unquote to pass. And in Russia, it was always either, because now it's first of all, it's important to note that I'm from the USSR. So even though I say I'm Russian, to Russians, I'm not Russian, I'm a Jew. It's a big distinction. In America, it's people consider a religion. But when you go to the Eastern Europe, you're either a Jew or you're Russian. Those are the two distinctions. And there's in Russia back then, if there was, let's say, someone black and a Jew, we're on the same level for Russians.
You're just Jews.
There's a specific word that back then they would use for anyone that's not white Russian. So it's like let's say it's like the N word,
right?
But it's used for anyone. So Armenians,
it's derogatory.
Yeah. You probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't want to talk to. I guess maybe your parents know because they're from Turkey. Your parents might know what was happening in Eastern Europe with so like Armenians, Azerbaijanians, Tajikistan, like all those people who look a little different. Black people. I mean, there were hardly any black people in Russia back then. Anyone black or Jewish, there's one name for all of us.
Basically, like they're just trying to be.
But it's not. But it's in America. Everything's so revolved around racism. Back then, it was very normalized. Like even now,
racism was just normalized back then.
Okay, it's even now they can use those words with me. Like I had an Uber driver. He was Ukrainian, and Ukrainians used to be way worse.
But I think that's because they're still communist.
No. Ukrainians used to be way worse with anti-Semitism, way worse than Russia. Russia, they kind of just like the Jews are there, whatever. Ukrainians used to be really bad. They would like tell on us if like during the Holocaust.
Do you go back there?
No, okay. They would during the Holocaust, Ukrainians, if they found a Jew, they're gonna let everyone know. And they used to have this way to find a Jew. Because a lot of us used to speak Yiddish back then, we would pronounce certain Russian words differently. So the tell would be words like kukuruza, like the way I'm saying it, I'm saying, I guess, like a Jewish person. So that's how they would be able to spot us. My grandma's actually Ukrainian. But I just had an Uber driver. He was Ukrainian. And I told him my dad's Jewish. I didn't say my mom was too. And he's like, oh, so you're half Jewish, half Russian. You see? So it's like still it's
ingrained.
Exactly. And then I said Jewish. And he said, what's that? And I said, Yevrei. And that's in Jewish and Russian. He goes, Žid. Мы говорим Žid. And Žid is the N word for the Jews. And I was like, and he said it with a smile. Because
calling you that?
Calling my dad that because he's a Jew.
And
so
he's just naive to it. He doesn't realize that he's being
it's
offensive.
Just part of the culture. Like it's not even, he just did it with a smile and I just was like, okay. And then he said, if I were you, I wouldn't say I'm Jewish and I wouldn't say I'm Russian, just say you're Belarusian because that's where my mom's from.
He said that.
Yeah, but it's not in an offensive way. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's not offensive to me.
I understand that. And this might be like totally different, but I remember one of my very close, dear friends who's very educated, very beautiful. She used to be a model. She's black, half black, I think. And she used to work at Sephora long time ago, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And she tells this story about how a man came up to her looking for like the bathroom or something while she was working at Sephora. And she was like, oh, it's, over here. And she said, and this man, he was from the South, very thick, like, Southern accent, had a cowboy hat on. And he looked back at her before he left and he said, you're the most beautiful N-word I've ever seen.
Holy shit.
And she tells this story, though, with so much grace because she said, she looked at him and she goes, and I said, thank you. And she goes, but can I tell you something? She goes, that word around here, it's, you can't really use that word. It's highly offensive and derogatory and, it's hurtful to a lot of people, to most people. And she said, but I knew that he just didn't know. Like he obviously was trying to give me a compliment and she just gave him so much grace. And she goes, because people are only as good as what they know up here. Like he wasn't trying to be hurtful. She goes, and when I told him that, his jaw literally, he was so mortified. He was so embarrassed.
Oh.
And she was like, yeah, I don't think that you were trying to say it in a negative way. She goes, but just so you know, you can't say that here.
Yeah, I mean, I was really polite to the Uber driver, but then when after he dropped me off, I do mark in my app to never have that driver again.
Right.
Because it's not his fault, and I also will still rate them well and pay and everything. I don't need to complain. But I think as Jews, the way my parents I was raised is in the way where I guess I don't take offense because then I believe that it would be giving someone else power over me. And I just always been ingrained in me to never feel like a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometimes too much to the point that I'm always willing to be the villain in every story. Mm-hmm. But
I think there's a difference though in either A, educating people instead of getting defensive, or just saying like, okay, we're just on different, like we're just different. You don't see it the way I see it, and why waste your time trying to like educate your Uber driver on something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess I could have, but to me, it's more my kindness. If I'm still nice and still kind, then that's the kind of hope where, because I've had a lot of anti-Semitism in my life, especially I think a lot of Jews that are outside of the U.S. experience it way more than American Jews. So...
Also, though, you're in the back of an Uber. I mean, I know that that's just your personality, but I've definitely had my fair share of not racial, incidences where I'm just so uncomfortable in the back of an Uber where I'm just like,
also as a woman, you kind of will have to. I've been in an Uber driver before that he hated just everyone.
Yeah.
And that one, he hated the Russians and he hated the Jews and he hated Israel. And in my head, I was just like, oh, okay. And I was, like, and then he thinks Americans suck. And I was just like smiling and nodding. And and he didn't know I was Jewish or, well, I guess he knew I was Russian, but he didn't know I was Jewish. He really hated the Jews. But once I knew that, I wasn't going to be like, yeah, well, actually. Yeah. Let me make a point. It was like
I'm in the back of your
12
car.
a.m. Yeah. He's taking me home. Great. That's your opinion. Thank you so much for letting me know. I just want to get home safely.
Need to know. Also, it's so thinking about like just being in an Uber or whatever. It's so wild. Like you have a person. It's usually a male driver. It's so vulnerable. They know where you live now. Like it's actually crazy when you say it out loud, and they've got you in the back of their car. Like
Yeah, you're like...
If we were to talk about this 10 years ago or 15 years ago, people would be like, wait, what are you doing?
It is kind of crazy.
You're getting into a stranger's car as a single female alone. They not only are putting you in a very vulnerable situation where they could take you anywhere, but now they know where you fucking live.
Yeah.
And they have your contact information to a certain degree. That's crazy.
But I never drink anything. In
the car.
I only get Uber Blacks. And because they're safer.
Same.
And even then, I still never take any candy, anything they offer me, or even water, because I'm just a very paranoid person. And I just think even the thought of them putting like a needle or something in there and
I've heard crazy stories.
Just scares me.
It's also wild, too, how I feel like somewhere in the media, somehow this gets controlled or pushed to the back of the algorithm, because I've seen very sparse stories that somehow don't make it into everybody's feed about people's horrible experiences with Uber drivers. I've had one myself where it's like, they took me somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. The door got locked. They didn't take me home. Like,
oh my God, it'd be
crazy.
So paranoid.
But obviously that's not getting out there because Uber would be fucking canceled. And I'm sure Uber's had so many lawsuits.
Yeah, I feel like I saw something recently,
so many.
And then I didn't see it again.
I saw a thing recently about a dating app that I think it was Hinge. And multiple women reported one of these users for like date raping them.
Oh my gosh, I think I saw that.
Them, and now they're suing. There's like a class action lawsuit against Hinge because they didn't do anything about it. They didn't even ban the user. And there is like receipts of these women, multiple women saying, I woke up, I went on a date with this guy, I had one drink, don't remember anything, woke up, my clothes were ripped off my body.
Holy shit.
Like I went and I reported him multiple times. Nobody even got back to me, like from Hinge. And then I think she probably made a post about it on social media. And then more women started coming forward and they were saying, I've also made reports about this same person. They showed a picture of him. And now he's, in jail or something. But it's everything we do this day and age is so what our parents told us never to do. Like, go out with random strangers from the internet, talk to people on the internet, get into random people's cars. Like, we do all of that.
But also, I don't know how to explain it as a millennial. I just feel so lucky that we did that we were able to have a childhood that I feel that Gen Z doesn't really get to have. And when I think about some of the crazy things that I did as a millennial, I feel that now I would totally be kidnapped for that. Like, I remember when I was younger and I would drink and get wasted, and then I get an Uber, and when I pass out, that's why you get a cat.
So
I'm kidding. I really am type A. I'm like, no one move or breathe.
Yeah, did you take your Adderall this morning?
Yeah, that's why I'm so focused.
Oh, okay.
It's the opposite.
I thought it's supposed to make you not get distracted.
No, I'm more focused on everything I'm speaking. That's why I don't want anyone else to breathe.
Okay, got it. I won't breathe.
Hello?
I won't breathe. That's not how Adderall affects me.
But for me, it is.
Okay, it's probably good.
Yeah.
Hyper-focused. It's Gus, zip it.
Well, I'm also very detail-oriented. But I'll talk about that
Says she's not type A.
Is that type A?
Yes.
Oh, okay, wait.
Okay.
So I remember I got wasted, and my thing is if I drink alcohol, I'm not really a drinker.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, if I close my eyes, I like fall asleep to a point that I'm like a dead person. And I remember I fell asleep in an Uber, and the Uber driver couldn't wake me up, and I woke up to him shaking me.
You're like,
and like trying to slap my face to like for me to wake up because I literally like that's how I am when I used to drink.
You're a liability. That's scary.
Obviously, I'm going to assume that nothing happened because
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I woke up to him shaking me and be like, ma'am, please wake up. You're outside. We're outside your house.
Out of my car.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that would have happened with a different Uber driver? Like somebody who wasn't as kind?
Well, the thing is, I was passed out, so I actually wouldn't know what happened. But I'm just going to tell myself nothing happened. How would I know?
Why just spare yourself?
But that's what I mean. Or I remember when I was younger. I mean, I'm always the type of person that's more like, oops. You know, I don't think about sometimes when I do things. Like, I remember I go to my friends to Mexico and I'm bored. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go home. So I take a taxi by myself in Mexico when I'm younger. And then I remember as I'm in the taxi, I'm like, oh shit, I don't speak Spanish. I'm in a taxi by myself.
Where am I?
And then I'm like, hello? Yeah, I'm sending you my location right now.
We all do that.
As
We
if they
all do
care.
that shit.
I've done that multiple times. Or in Europe, I remember sometimes I'll be like, ugh, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go home. And I just walk by myself through an alley to get back to my place.
Hold on. Can I also say something? Okay, so when we all get in that position, right, when we're in the back of the Uber and we're like pretending to call somebody and say, yeah, I'm sending you my location right now. Why are we not actually doing that? Why are we just lying about it? We should actually be calling somebody and saying, I'm sending you my location right now.
Well, also, a lot of my friends have my location.
They do, but do they know to check it all the time?
No,
do they
because
know
they're not
that you're in the back of
psychos.
an Uber where you might need them? Like, what I'm saying is, when we're pretending to do that, we should actually really be calling
Well, if
somebody.
if I'm being creeped out, I will then text my sister right away and be
same.
like, hey,
Yeah.
here's my location.
Yeah. Or like, this is the back of, you should be able to it should be an option on Uber when you get into the back of the car, like share your location.
Yeah, I've done
and
that in the
driver
past
information.
before.
They what?
I've done that in the past before, share my location
But is that
with
an
my
option
sister.
through Uber? Like
Yes.
share your tracking? Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to start doing that when I'm in an Uber. And I always get blacks too, but honestly, I've had a really fucking creepy experience. I don't know if I'm just like paranoid about it, but I've also had very creepy experiences with Uber
being
blacks.
a woman in general is dangerous.
Very dangerous.
And that's when people talk about it's very American. So Americans, because they're so obsessed with race, and they go, well, if you're walking in the middle of the night and there's a black man walking in front of you, what do? I'm like, bitch, I'm going to the other side
If
of the
it's
street.
any man.
I'm like, I don't give a shit what color this person is. If it's 10 p.m., I'm by myself.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to be one of those idiots. I'm like,
Statistics.
hey, I just want you to know I'm not racist. Let me keep walking. He's a man. I'm walking away.
You know what I read a long time ago? And this is very American also.
Suicidal empathy?
Maybe. Actually, yes, that is actually basically what it is. It says that we are more afraid of, so a guy's walking behind you or something weird, you can feel the energy behind you. You're more afraid of offending that person than you are afraid for your own life because you don't actually turn around and confront them. I do, but the majority of people wouldn't. So if you feel really uncomfortable if somebody's like getting close to you, you're like, something's weird, something's off, that gut feeling, most people won't turn around and say like, can I help you? Or they won't.
We don't trust our intuition.
Look them in the eyes. No, but it's genuinely about, you feel it. You're like, I don't want to be weird. I don't want to offend the person behind me.
Because as women, we're taught as we're younger to always be nice, especially to men. And a lot of times you do have to be nice to men because look, like I've seen people when they're at the bar and you see videos and the woman gets annoyed at something a man said and she slaps him. Personally, I would never do that. And that's because I don't know how this person was raised. and I know that man is stronger than me, and I'm not interested in slapping the person because they were rude to me and then they're going to punch me in the face. I'm not doing that because I don't know how they were raised. And I think for women, we're always taught, be nice to men. If they're mean to you, it's because they like you and all these things.
So true.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen the speaker, and he talked about how when a woman is leaving work in the middle of the night and the elevator opens up and there's a strange man in the elevator and she feels something off in her belly, regardless what color this person is, even a white man, and she's white.
White men are the worst most of the time.
But I'm just saying, it's not even about the skin color.
Right.
Is there's a man there, she's a woman, it's the middle of the night, and she gets a weird feeling. But then right away she's like, come on, don't be like
Suck
that.
it up.
You know? It's in your head, or like, don't be rude.
Right.
Instead of waiting for the next elevator, she gets in an elevator and she gets in a tight space. Like, think about elevators. It's a small, tight space with another person.
Yep.
Like, all the bad things that can happen in that moment.
Why not just wait for them and be like, I'll wait for the next one. You don't want to offend
but
that
you don't want to be rude.
Right.
You don't want to look dramatic.
Yeah. What did you call it? The suicidal
empathy?
I
think that's what it is?
I mean, that sounds pretty fucked. I've never heard that term, but what I'm describing is that you are not protecting yourself. You're putting somebody else's feelings so ahead of yours that you're willing to literally lose your life.
Yeah, and that's so
because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I think too, it has to be somewhat of a fear, right? Not where we're like, oh, you know how when you see these like scary movies and you're like, why are they fucking walking so slow? Or why aren't they like turning around or like help yourself? And they always end up getting taken or whatever, and you're like screaming at the television. I think it's actually a more accurate description that women and men, whoever, when you're afraid, you're almost kind of frozen. Even when you're like, okay, feel my emotion, you have to check yourself out of that and say, okay, it's now or never. Like, I've heard of so many stories of people, watch a lot of documentaries, and women who get like kidnapped, for example, they're like, I actually did have opportunities to escape, but I didn't because I was so afraid of them just catching me again and hurting me more, or they brainwashed me. But it's like, sometimes you only have a split second to make a decision, and it's life or death.
I think if you read the book, The Body Keeps the Score.
I have.
A lot of times we are also unaware of how our bodies are going to react based on past trauma. So a lot of times you think you would react differently, and then when you're in a situation, because I remember one time there was this man who this man who now he's dead. God bless.
What?
I shouldn't say that, but this man, he wanted to work with me. He had a big clothing brand. He wanted to work with me, and I agreed. And I remember during Coachella, it was many years ago, he started to creep me out. I was getting really uncomfortable, and he was getting a little too personal or touchy with me. And he didn't remember me, but I remembered him when I was 15, 16. He used to have sex with my friends. Like a lot of my friends, he used to throw big parties, have all the drugs. You told me
about this before.
Yes, I think I did.
Yeah.
And so I remembered him when he would sleep with my underage friends. He didn't remember me because obviously I was more grown up now, and he never probably noticed me because I was never promiscuous. Like I would just kind of sit around waiting for my friends, and I was still learning how to speak English. So I didn't really interact with anyone. And so he was getting too close to me. And I remember I ended up ghosting him during Coachella and ghosting the company itself. I didn't want to work with them. And then when the women kept reaching out, I finally said, listen, I'm sorry, but your boss makes me uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable working with you guys. And they said, honestly, we completely understand. Kind of gave me an idea that I'm not the only one that experienced that. Then a year later, I see him walking into a party that I was at. And when he walks into that party, he was with his friend. And his friend was a man that I've worked with multiple times who has given me jobs. So we work with each other in a professional way. Anyway, they both walk in, and the guy that I ghosted looks at his friend and goes, hold my phone really quick. Film this. Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, hey, film this.
What?
And he goes up to me to say hello, and he's like, hi, how are you? Hey. And he goes to hug me, and I want to be polite. So I'm polite, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to be dramatic. And I give him a little hug, and then he holds me really tight, doesn't let me go, and I'm wearing a skirt.
No.
And he puts his fingers under my skirt trying to finger me.
What?
While the other guy is filming it. The man who I've worked with multiple times.
What?
So I'm just like, what are you doing? Let me go. And I push him, and I'm in so like you know when you experience shock, I was just like,
yeah,
what the fuck just happened? Like
out of body.
And I felt so disrespected, and I'm very. It's like it's the same thing where you're like, if I was in a situation like this and this and this, like I would yell back, and instead I was shocked.
You were frozen.
I was frozen. I was shocked that this man would do that to me. And I was shocked that the person that I've worked with multiple times on a professional manner would just stand there and film it. And we're at a party where there's other people around. So I just pushed him away, and I was so shocked that I just walked out, and I went outside to where the pool area is, and I just sat down, and I had some job for MTV. So I just started going on my phone and like creating memes because I was trying to
disassociate.
I was trying to regulate my nervous system.
Right.
Because I was so shocked that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to think about it. And then he walks outside. So I'm sitting on the floor, and there's a lot of different power dynamics. And if someone's walking and you're sitting and they're above you, the power dynamic is that they're overpowering you. So he walks up to me and he's like, oh, you think you're all that? Blah, blah. And he's like kind of hovering over me, and he's clearly on drugs. So knowing this man's on drugs, I'm already uncomfortable, and I also don't want to push it too far because I don't know how he made.
Are you alone there?
Yeah. That's a great question. I don't know why, but I was alone.
Okay.
I go to parties alone all the time.
Okay. So he's standing over you, intimidating
he's just like,
you
think you're all that, and I finally go, Jimmy, this is why I didn't work with you. You're so unprofessional, and you make me uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable right now. You need to stop. So I'm thinking I handled myself properly, and he goes, what? Who the fuck do you think you are? Fuck you, you fucking bitch, you fucking cunt. And he starts swinging his hands, and I'm sitting down. So again, everyone's watching it. No one's doing anything. So I get up, and I just start walking back, and he's walking towards me. And like, thank God there was the balcony behind me, like the sliding door was open. So I'm literally just walking backwards, and then I get through that door, and I just like sneak out, and I walked out, and I went outside right away, ordered an Uber, and I was just trying to process that. And the crazy part that I wasn't thinking of myself, like, poor me that happened to me. I felt so much anger. I felt anger and shame on myself for not reacting the way I would think I would react. Because I was like, why wouldn't I stand up for myself, blah, blah. But then when I told my mother and my sister about it, they were like, my mom said, I'm so proud of you that you didn't do anything. And you got yourself out of that situation.
You did get yourself out of the situation.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Because I was mad that I didn't, hit him or tell him off or stand up for myself.
Come up with a better choice of words to like put him in his place.
Yeah, instead I was just so shocked. I was like, I didn't know how to process it. Even speaking about it, I'm just like, it's so weird.
I think also people don't understand what it's like when a man is like, if a man yells at me, I shut down. I freeze. I'm like, oh my God. And people don't understand too, like, okay, girls can yell, and obviously girls can be aggressive and toxic, and it's not, sometimes appropriate. But when a man is yelling at a woman, it does something to our nervous system. And I don't know if it's me, like I have PTSD because my parents used to yell at each other and my dad screamed. I feel like I'm a little girl. I'm like, oh my God, I can't. And I've talked to like exes about this because I've had multiple exes who yell at me.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's something that can't happen because I don't trust you. If you yell at me, it's like our emotional bond is being destroyed little by little. And we can't have a future because I go back to being like this 7-year-old little girl who's being yelled at by her dad. And it's very traumatizing for me.
No, I agree. Maybe that is where it comes from me as well. Because, when I was younger, if my dad started to raise his voice, and obviously, I mean, I'm foreign. I feel like a lot of foreign kids, they get beat up by their parents.
Yeah.
So like I used to get hit by my dad.
Yeah.
So I think like if the voice, his voice starts to go up and then he's about to hit me.
Truthfully truthfully, I do believe that a man who yells at a woman, that's just the beginning. And I do honestly believe the majority of men who yell at women will eventually hit that woman if it escalates far enough. Like, I don't think that they have no self-control. If you can't control yourself, and I understand like a very rare situation when like things might be extremely heated, but when somebody's yelling at you, standing over you, pointing their finger in your face, they've lost all control over themselves.
If someone's starting to move with their hands, I'm uncomfortable. But also, I would like to know that man, Jimmy. years later, it came out, loads of sexual harassment against him. It was like a whole Me Too movement against him. And that was really nice to see. And then he went bankrupt. Like his business went bankrupt. I think someone else bought the business. And then he, I ran into him at a wedding in Europe. And he was just so excited. That's the creepiest thing about these men like that. It made him feel so good because the people I was with who were terrible people. So that makes sense.
Clearly.
They knew him. And then we all sat down together for lunch. In my head again, I'm like, don't be rude. It was years ago. He probably doesn't remember me. But he was so hyper-focused on me. And he was like, oh, Violet, do you like that drink? Do you want to drink some more? And I was like, I'm not drinking. I'm good. But he kept focusing on me. And he was constantly smiling at me. And I was just really quiet. And I was thinking, he's really enjoying it. Anyway, he ended up overdosing and dying years, like I think
Karma's
a year
a
or two
bitch.
ago. Yeah, he was found dead. Sorry, I don't mean to smile. Obviously, I think.
I didn't mean to smile. Maybe you did, actually.
Well, I'll never be happy for anyone, obviously, dying. But he ended up dying, overdosing, and he was found in his house by himself. So I guess.
Do you think he committed suicide, or do you think he just was trying to have a good time? And
No, but he lost his business, and everything about him came out. It was just a really pathetic person. In the end of the day, it was this man that never outgrew being a kid. He used to sleep with my friends when I was younger, and then I'm like 20 years older, and he's still the same person. It's kind of wild.
I feel like it's not even outgrowing being a kid. He obviously has like some psychological disorder, like huge fucking ego. Somebody who can't be told no. Somebody who if I want it, I'm gonna get it, and if you stand in my way, I'm gonna cause a huge scene, like a little fucking brat.
Yeah,
Spoiled,
I think
rotten, small man
this is
syndrome.
where it comes from me, from my hardship of ever feeling like a victim. So I think that's why I can't even say he's like this and this and this. I'm trying to be more understanding. I think it's more just whatever.
I think a lot of women women who are, like you, like myself, who are, we kind of get shit done. We have, we're business minded. We don't ever want to play the victim. But that's not to say that in certain situations you have been a victim of of your like certain elements. Like you were the victim of something in that situation, but you're rationalizing it in your head, which is what most people do when they've been a victim of something.
Well, I just think I was surprised that I didn't react the way I thought I would. And it happened to me before when I was in a car accident. I remember I got in a really bad car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver, and he totaled my car. And luckily, he hit me in the middle of my car on the side. He T-boned me. So if I had a passenger in the car, they would be dead. That's what they said. He was driving 80 miles per hour through a stop sign with his lights off in 10 p.m. And he T-boned my car. And I remember I was younger than the other incident with that man. But when my car was swerving, and then I was just, I parked on the side, and I was just so shocked, and I was shaking, and I was bleeding too. And I was shocked because it was my first lease car. Because I just got an accounting job. It's my first lease car. And it's obviously, so he gets out of the car without his shoes, and he's like, hey, are you okay? By the way, don't freak out, but your car is totally totaled. And my first thought was, I grew up poor, so I was like, my parents can't afford this. What am I gonna do?
Right.
My dad's gonna, I literally was like, I wish I was dead because.
Oh, stop.
No, that's how I was feeling. I was like, my dad's literally gonna beat the shit out of me. Like, I was so scared because this is like the worst thing. Because I used to be such a troublemaker.
Oh, really?
But it was never. This is probably the worst thing I've ever done. And my parents can't afford to fix this car. It's a really expensive car, and it's totaled. I don't understand. I was like, if I didn't die right now, my dad will kill me.
Yeah. You're like, can you hit me again and just kill me?
I was so scared. And I remember I froze and I couldn't speak. So when the neighbors came out of the house and they're like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And I think I'm talking to them, but I'm not saying anything. And that's what I'm talking about with the body keeps the score, where you can have that moment of freeze. And again, as you can tell, I'm a pretty outspoken person. So I would think in moments like the two moments I'm giving examples, I would move.
Yeah.
And instead I was shaking and I could not speak. And they were like, are you okay? Wait, why is she not talking? Could she not talk? And I don't understand why words are not coming out of my mouth because it was in so much shock. And I remember I just said, 1 second, please. That's all I could say. And I was limping, and I limped because it was right outside of my friend's house. And luckily, they didn't lock the door yet. And when I opened the door, the alarm went off. So I woke up my friend's parents, and I was like, please help. Accident. Like I literally could not talk, and I didn't know why. And that's what I mean. It's a crazy thing where it doesn't matter who you are, how confident you are. Your body always knows, and your body holds on to trauma from many years ago, and your body will react against your own will.
Of course it will. I mean, there's so many instances where your body has way more control over.
But so I think it goes back to the original, I guess, point. Sorry for sharing those two stories, but it goes back to the original point of when we were speaking of how a woman not escaping something, whatever, is literally like you can't control your own body. Like you don't know what's going to happen. Of course.
And it's a lot of fear. I think honestly, a lot of times that those like when we become paralyzed, usually the root of that is always fear. It's a fear of something, whether it's triggering something in you that was fear from a long time ago. Like you're saying, I was so afraid of my dad and like what was going to happen that you become, immobilized and a completely like mute. I also though, like I have, traumas and we all do. And yes, of course, the body keeps the score. But there are certain types of people too. For me, when I'm in a really, 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 almost every time I've been in a situation that's very difficult, I do. Like there's some people like if somebody's choking, for example, like my sister, she would freeze. She'd be like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to try to give the Heimlich. I'm going to try to give CPR. I'm going to call for help. Some people are, and obviously two people are triggered by different things. So something that might trigger me might not trigger you. But
well, I'm talking about my body's in danger. Yeah. Of course, I'm actually I'm one of the best people to have around during stressful situations because that's when I'm more, because my father, my whole life growing up, my dad always said remove emotions in stressful situations. So when other things where I'm not in danger, like my body itself is not in danger, I'm very calm. And I always know to feel my emotions when whatever is happening in front of me is over. But my constant thing is someone raises their voice at me. If there's an altercation in front of me, something bad's happening, I'm very calm. And my first thought is how to remove myself from the situation.
Right.
Even my house, I thought my house was going to burn down. Everyone else was more, during the fires last year, everyone else was more freaked out than I was.
You like stayed in your
about
house.
my house. And I was just thinking, as long as I can think of a few solutions, then it's going to be okay. That's usually...
You become very like level-headed.
Yeah, I'm very, there's no emotions. And then when I could finally go back to my house and I found out that my house will not burn down and I can finally breathe, that's when my emotions started to come in. And I finally cried just thinking about the last 3 weeks and my nervous system regulated in that moment. And then that's it. And then I move on. And in the body keeps the score. One way to be able to release trauma is they basically say that the worse the trauma is based if you can move away from the situation. If something in our body happens that our first reaction is to run home. So if you're in a situation where you're trapped, that means you may hold on to the trauma in your body longer. But if in any situation you're able to move, then for some reason your body will release the trauma faster. So like with my house thinking my house was going to be on fire, I'd be able to leave the house. Or with that man, Jimmy, trying to finger me under my skirt, I was able to walk away from this. I know, but I was able to walk away from the situation. So I think maybe with my car, the reason I was the most traumatized from it for some reason was more because I could not think of a solution. Like normally I could think of a solution, do this, do that. This solution was, oh my God, I don't know how to fix this. Yeah. And that's why suddenly my body froze. I can't move. And I even had to go to...
And also you just had impact too. Like your body, without even knowing here, like your body's like something really bad just happened.
You're right. But physically, yeah. But emotionally, it was more, I always find a solution. This was one of the first times.
A little bit of a control
There's
freak.
No solution. And my dad's going to beat the shit out of me. And I'm not talking about like somebody hitting you. I'm like, he's going to break my ribs. Like I'm freaked out.
Yeah.
But anyway, he didn't. And actually...
Are these conversations also like, what do you talk about on a first date? Are you like this Like, do you just lay
No,
it
why
off?
would they need to know this?
I'm just wondering what you talk about I find you so interesting. Like, what do you talk about on a first date? Like the fucking weather? Or are you like, hey, like one time Jimmy tried to finger me up my skirt.
I don't think that's appropriate, A, to do that on the first
Yeah.
date. Secondly, I don't need the man in front of me to things like that. You don't know how it's going to come across to another person, but I think there's a time and a place for certain types of conversations. And actually, if you hold off on things like that for later on in your relationship, it will actually make you and your partner closer.
For sure.
If your partner wants to
Well, then they
develop
can
a
also
relationship
share
with
something
you.
about them.
They would feel closer to you. But if you share something like that off the bat in a first date,
To a
it
stranger.
might create false intimacy, but it won't be real intimacy because the person in front of me actually doesn't give a flying shit about me. So why would I tell them something so personal
Well,
about
and then
me?
they're also like, okay, you talk about this with all of your first dates. Like, that's crazy.
I don't know if that's it. They'll also think this is weird. Why is she telling me this? Or, oh, can I fuck her? Does she feel like we're really close now? Like or they get weirded out like, oh man, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
men and emotions. Men frontal lobe develops when they're like 75. So
It's not that late. But yeah, no, trust me.
like they have like conscious thoughts that we have when we're 6 and finally at like 37, they're like, women have feelings.
guys
You're
are
like,
just funny. I mean, not all guys. I'm trying to get out of my like shit on every guy era because not all guys are pieces of shit. I just have been traumatized.
Also, I think we should kind of change the subject a bit.
I'm trying to.
Like, I don't want to keep talking about these depressing things.
Then stop talking about him.
I know.
You're the one talking about him.
Oh, and I just do want to say that car accident changed the relationship with my father.
Because he didn't beat the shit out of you?
It wasn't that. It was because my friend's dad stayed with me. My dad used to always be jealous if I gave attention to like other dads.
So you actually have daddy issues?
Yes, I grew up with that. So
okay.
I just literally told you my dad used to beat me. Of course.
But sometimes daddy issues, just saying that doesn't mean because your dad's beating the shit out of you. It can be like,
I'm not.
he wasn't around.
He didn't beat
or he
me
used
all
to
the time. Like,
leave.
I don't want to put that out.
Like, daddy issues can mean a variety
Yeah, he just
of
wasn't
things.
around when I was growing up. Whatever.
Only when he was beating the shit out of you.
Okay, no, but he wasn't. That's not like a common thing. It happened like a few times.
You make it sound like he. I said, do you have daddy issues? And you go, I just told you my dad used to beat the shit out of me.
No, I said that I thought he was going to beat me because he hit me before. But it wasn't
okay.
like a normal thing. He's
And
not
you have like a close relationship with your dad now.
we have a great relationship, yeah, and I don't think about that. I don't see him as that person. But yes, when he hit me a few times, whatever, that's actually not that deep.
It's also a very European thing. Like,
Yeah, it's not
to
a
make
big
excuses
deal.
for European parents who beat their
But,
kids. But yeah.
when I stayed with my friend's dad, and it was finally 4 or 5 a.m., and he goes, I'm sorry, I have to call your dad. And I remember every time he said he was going to call my dad, I would start bawling, and I'd be like, please don't call him, please don't call him, please don't call him, like, please, he's going to kill me, you don't understand, please don't call him. And finally called my dad, and I remember when my dad showed up, I literally was just like, so scared because of like, holy shit, he's about to hit me in front of my friend's dad. Like, I'm so scared. And instead, my dad looked mortified. And that's what made our relationship closer because my father was so mortified because he couldn't believe that his own daughter wouldn't call him. I don't know why I get so sad about it.
Yeah, that is sad.
I'm on my period.
It's okay. Me too. Me too.
Okay, but I want to express that because I'm a writer and when I write, I feel my emotions of the story that I'm telling. So right now, the emotions I'm expressing, it's not because I'm still sad about that moment. It's because I'm just refeeling those feelings. So
good, feel it.
For me. Anyway, my father was so shocked that his own daughter wouldn't call him in such a situation that he was looking at me in so much shock. And after that, well, he never obviously touched me again. I don't know, I'm crying.
Here,
sorry.
where's the tissues that
This
I had
is
right
so
here?
embarrassing.
Wait, you guys moved to the tissues?
Anyway, it didn't make us closer yet because when I created daddy issues, our relationship became closer, but it definitely changed our relationship a little because my dad realized his actions made his own child terrified of him, which is so sad, you know?
That is so sad.
And I feel so bad for him.
But he saw that. And most people wouldn't say, I'm going to change. And he changed. And
Well, a little bit in the best way he could. Obviously, he's Russian, so he doesn't fully know how to.
I had a thing of tissues here. I don't know who moved them. What the hell? Why would we move the tissues? Anyway,
Anyway.
not the first person to cry here. So, but I think that that's a beautiful story, and I have a very my relationship changed completely when
I think this will help.
when I became older with my dad. I actually had to tell my dad was like a military dad, so he was like, I'm gonna instill fear in you, and then you'll respect me. And I remember I had a conversation with him when I was much older, after I had children, because I raised my children very differently than how my dad kind of raised me and my mom, to a certain degree. I mean, they did a great job, but I just don't hit my kids. And I remember sitting my dad down, and he used to, even with my kids, I think a lot of parents generationally raise their kids differently. And so people are like, you're too soft with your kids. And I just remember saying to my dad, listen, I want my kids to respect me. I don't want them to be afraid of me. And I want to be the first person that they call if they're in trouble or if they're hurt or they did something wrong or they fucked up. Call me. I'm going to be more upset like your dad if you don't call me and you can't trust me with that and you suffer than anything that you could have done.
I think it's definitely very eye-opening to parents when their kids are put in a really bad situation, and they're not the first person that you call.
Yes.
Because I remember my dad's not that expressive face-wise or anything. He's very, very Russian, and he's from
stoic.
the Navy. He's very stoic. So yeah, he was so surprised. I remember when I got in his car, he said, Violetta, do not cry. Today is not the day you almost died. Today is the day you lived.
Oh.
Yeah.
But moments like that, see, there's always a silver lining. Like a moment for you that was terrifying, literally to the point where you couldn't speak or move, and it changed kind of the trajectory of your relationship with your father
It literally
forever.
did, because it was the first time that when my dad looked so shocked, I was like, wait, what the hell? Does this guy like me?
Oh.
I was like, what the hell?
Also, parents don't realize in those moments, like you're saying your dad had no idea. My dad also, I said, Dad, when I told my dad, all growing up, my entire childhood, you telling me right now that you think I respected you? Newsflash, I didn't.
7 years later.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm like,
you
I
didn't respect your father?
I was afraid of him. I said, Dad, and now we have a great relationship now. We have an amazing relationship, and I adore my dad. But I remember him looking at me when I said that to him.
Oh, it probably broke him.
It broke him, and he looked. I mean, now I'm gonna cry. I forget it. I remember exactly where we were, and he was like, "What?" And I said, Dad, I've been afraid of you my whole fucking life. And he was just like, what do you mean? He's like, well, okay, that's something that I really am going to sit with and think about. And I was like, yeah, I respected him in a level, like he's my dad, but every moment where he was like, you're going to do what I tell you to do or else this is going to happen. I'm like, I'm not doing anything because I respect you. I'm doing everything because I'm afraid of you.
Well, I think a lot of people sometimes tend to confuse respect with love.
And with fear.
Yeah, confuse fear with love.
No, fear with respect. People confuse fear with respect.
I'm confusing it right now.
Right? Right? And we also see that as like, we don't know what we don't know. So when we're in a household with somebody who's like, we make excuses for our parents because you're like, oh, well, they loved me, right? And every parent shows love in a different way. When you ask a child, how do you know your parents love you? One child might say, oh, because my mom cooks dinner for me every night, or oh, because my dad, shows up to my games, or oh, because everyone has a different way of showing love, and a child, the way that they receive love, right? But some parents, like for me, a lot of parents they're not touchy-feely. They don't hug. They don't like a lot of...
But that's also because of their childhood.
Of course, everybody has a
but
reason.
As a child, of course, you don't know those things.
Of
Your
course.
brain's not developed enough to understand that, my father had a really bad upbringing.
Mine too.
His father was an alcoholic, a cheater, spent all of his money on gambling. Then he ended up going to jail because of some bad deals, and they were dead broke, and not regular broke, like in America, communist broke, which means the place they lived at during communism, you have to get on lists to get into, to have anything, like even milk. You're like number 15. Yeah. So when you live in apartments, it's not even an apartment. You share a room. So my dad was so poor that he shared, it's a room. The apartment is just one room, and every corner is a family is in there. So it's 4 families in each corner. There's a family there, and then you just put little curtains, and that's your corner, and that's how you live. And anyway, and then his father got beat up in jail to death for being a Jew by the guards on his last day, and he was like a vegetable for a few days, and then he died. So my dad was 18. My dad swore not to be like him, in a way where he'll support his family no matter what. So, and then that's where we grew up with that. Really, no one drinks in my family, and my dad kept that promise. He's a great husband to my mother, and he supported us no matter what. That was his way of showing love. Obviously, he didn't know that maybe as a child I craved different type of love, but that's also not his fault because he didn't have that type of love growing up.
Right.
Now we are a dynamic change and we're more expressive and we hug and all that, but that's because I chose to change that with us.
So it's interesting because I think also because I'm a mother now, but I mean you don't have children and you have a lot of empathy for your parents and a lot of grace, and you can see things from a different lens. And when I meet somebody or I hear somebody's story and I feel like too, like the internet and everywhere, it's like it's like all of this like, oh, have boundaries, and if your family is this, then don't, be around them. But for the most part, I'm like, that's your family, and like your parents are only doing the best they can. I'm not excusing like horrific behavior, okay, like abuse and rape and all of the things, right? But some people, I'm like, why don't you talk to parents anymore? And they're like, oh, it's toxic. I'm like, why?
Like, my mom's a narcissist.
I'm like, first of all, it's your mother and your father. And just every time we go there, it's always like drama and I just think to myself, grow up.
Yeah, I've seen a video of this girl saying, when your parents, like when I don't know if she said your parents or your mother, let's just say your mother. And she goes, when your parents like make sure to buy you everything you ask for, when they make sure to always show up to whatever you have going on, like your sports, your events and things like that, you don't actually realize it's because they're narcissists. And growing up with narcissist parents like that who do go out of their way to always give you anything you want, to always be there for you, they're actually doing it for themselves. And I was just like, when you want to be oppressed so bad, you just start making things up.
100%. And you want to be a victim so badly.
It's crazy.
It blows my mind. And I'm just like, honestly, you do you, but I'm not respecting you more because you set a boundary.
Like you have a perfect childhood. So you were like, I'm still, how do I make this? How do I become a victim? My mom is the worst.
So
because she was such a good mother.
Also, I think too, for me, as being a mom, I'm always, and most parents too, we're like, oh, we're not doing good enough. Or, oh, my kids, I feel guilty or I feel bad. And I think about this and how actually, I feel like children, all they want is to be loved by their parents. And I know people who have parents who are literally like homeless or drug addicts or used to beat the shit out of them or have neglected them. And they are always there for their parents. All they want is to be there for their parents. And I'm like, okay, and I feel bad because, maybe I missed a freaking football practice. I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't think a naturally decent human being child that's being raised in a loving home will want to abandon their parents.
I think it's not even people's fault. I know when I meet other Europeans or foreign people, we're very that way where my family pisses me off, but it's my family.
100%.
It's
100%.
I'm as loyal as possible to them. And I think there's a different culture when it comes to Americans when I meet them and they say things like, my mom is such a bitch. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Or they're like,
red flag.
My family is toxic, so I'm going to remove them from my life. And
that's toxic.
But I think
removing your family from your life is toxic, I think.
This might be this is my personal opinion, but I think it's some type of American propaganda where it's to separate people from their family and to have them focus on other things like politics and stuff like that, or you should be independent, when in reality, people, since caveman days, people are ingrained to seek community. So when someone gives you propaganda that your family, just because your family's blood doesn't mean anything, your friends can be your family, your politicians can be your family, whatever, it's you end up seeking a different type of community. So in the end, you're still looking for a community. You think you're so independent, but you actually found your community somewhere else. So I do think it's this weird propaganda about the fact that it's your family's not your everything. You can let them
You
go.
can live with-
Like
you
I
can
see
survive without
movies,
your family.
documentaries where they're like their parent does something bad, not terrible, but I guess kind of bad, illegal, something illegal.
Okay.
And the child's like, oh, calling the police. And when I watch it with my Russian family, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I'm sorry. I know it's going to sound insane, but I would defend
100%.
my family as much as I can.
I always say that I've got my family's fucking crazy. Jewish, Italian,
Yeah,
like,
it's
North
crazy.
African. It's fucking crazy.
Combination.
And we fight and we argue but at the end of the day, and I do agree, it is a total cultural difference.
Yeah.
Americans just aren't the same. And
they're so proud of it too. They're like, yes, of course. If my father embezzled stocks, of course I will call the police because I'm more ethical than you are. I win the purity test. Okay, great. So you won't have a dad, and now by the way, he was probably paying off for your apartment.
Right.
So what are you gonna do now?
Probably did it for you little bitch.
Fucking retard.
You ungrateful cunt.
Jesus Christ.
I think too, though, like I always say, if I came home and I was like, Mom, I killed someone, she would literally not even say anything and be like, okay, what do we got to do? We got to get, what do we got to do? How do we fix it? I'm like, well, she's dead. Just get a shovel. You know, that would be my family.
Of course.
Like, and to have that level of support too, where just being able to be vulnerable with there's a different level of vulnerability when it is actually the circle of trust, like the pack, where you're like, I can tell you anything and you can judge me all you want, but you can't leave. Like, you're my family. Like, that. Where else can you have that sanctuary and that trust where you're like, you're my fucking blood? If somebody is giving up that relationship because there's drama or because they did something that was like beneath whatever your fucking moral values
might be. Oh my God, it's just a little bit embezzlement. Give me a break. It's like, in the grand scheme of things, does it even matter?
It really doesn't.
It's such a big universe, such a big world.
It's definitely very, not to shit on Americans. I mean, we're here, we're in America. I love it. But it's definitely a cultural difference without a doubt. And I kind of have told myself, even though I don't know, when it comes to men, I'm like, I don't know if I could ever actually be with marry an American man, because I just feel like the family and the cultural differences, like what I'm drawn to more, even though I've obviously been with many American men, the cultural differences in basically anything other than American men is so much deeper and stronger. And like, I value family and those core values so much.
I mean, of course, I'm sure there's people out there who do value family that way as well. I mean, I recently was dating an American, but he had a pretty strong conviction when it came to how he felt about being Jewish. So we were able to
What does that mean?
It means a lot of times when I've met American Jews, they're very separated from feeling Jewish. Like, it's their race versus religion.
Mm-hmm.
But with him, it was a part of him. It was his race so that made me be able to kind of connect to him, even though he wasn't foreign. But yeah, I do get along. It's easier for me to connect with foreign people for sure.
Also, people don't understand the different like race Judaism and ethnicity Judaism.
I think a lot of times when people don't understand, it's because they're not trying to understand.
They just haven't. Yeah, they have.
And
no
that's
idea
okay.
What that
It's
means.
I don't care anymore.
But I do find, I mean, dating's just hard in general. I will say that, but I think it's definitely also I can't even imagine who you're going up against in the dating world, because you're so well spoken and you're so educated, and like I think I am intimidating for a lot of men. I can't even imagine being a guy on the receiving end of you.
First of all, thank you so much for the compliment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think you're probably pretty intimidating. Do you find yourself in that position where
I don't think so, but I'm also in relationships when I'm dating. It's actually really funny, but when I date, a lot of the time, not even to look for, of course, in the back of my head, I'm looking for a partner, life partner, but it's weird. But when I date, I'm not dating for validation from the other person. It's more when I date, I love dating because it makes me re-fall in love with myself. So I'm constantly just watching everything I'm doing. So it's almost like I'm from the outside and I get to see myself on a first date. So right now when we're speaking and everything, I'm in a more professional mode. But this is, of course, maybe in the beginning, if on the first day, the first 10 minutes, I may come off like this. But if I'm vibing with a person, and normally even if I'm not, I want them to actually have a good time because I don't want to be the reason they want to stop dating. Like, I don't want them to have a terrible date and then they just never going to date again. So I want to make sure they'll still have a fun time. So within the first 10 minutes, my mask will come off and I'm very bubbly. I'm very loving. Not loving, touchy. I don't like when people touch me, especially if I don't know them. It's very Russian. But loving
Don't fucking touch me.
It's inappropriate. But
I'm opposite. I'm very touchy-feely.
Italian.
With stranger. Yeah. So cultural differences.
I actually one time was on a date with where is he from? Barcelona. It's just fit. And he was like, oh, Violetta.
Oh, you're like, get the
I
fuck
love you.
away.
And I was like, okay, you need to stop. And he's like, why, Violetta? You're so beautiful. And I was like, okay,
incompatible.
We are having different cultural differences right now. I'm like, I am Russian. We do not do this. I know you're very touchy. I respect that. I love that. But we need to not.
You're very touchable, like squishable. Like I want to just touch you.
But my love language is touch.
Oh, interesting.
And because my love language is touch, I save it for the person I'm actually in love with. That's why it's my love language. So it's
my love language, and I do it right out of the bat. If I meet you and I like you, my skin is touching your skin somehow.
Well, if I meet you and I like you, I give you a lot of verbal compliments.
Oh.
So that's my other love language. But with touch, I'm very weird about strangers touching me.
Okay.
Yeah, even like my shoulder, anything.
That's good.
It makes me uncomfortable. But so yeah, on a first date.
Did you hate that I gave you a hug when you got here?
Are we fucking?
I didn't know that. Okay, so it's okay. Okay, got it. Hey, is that an offer?
No, that's different. But
Okay, so it's different.
also I know you, but I hate it's such an American thing to be like, oh, well, I'm a hugger. I swear, one time I was thinking about it when someone comes up to me and like, oh, I'm a hugger. I want to be like, well, I'm a groper.
We're just shitting on Americans so bad. FYI, I am American.
Wait, I'm American citizen as well. And God bless America. Thank you so much for giving me a citizenship.
God bless the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they do kind of suck.
No,
Americans
sorry.
are
I don't mean,
shit.
you're right. I don't mean to I don't mean to
But
do
there
that.
are cultural differences, 100%.
Yeah,
and
but
just human differences.
I get annoyed when someone constantly is like, white people this, white people that.
Yeah.
And I just realize
I'm
doing the same thing with Americans. So I do apologize because obviously I love Americans. I love America. I wouldn't live here if it wasn't for that.
Don't deport me.
Please don't deport me. Don't revoke my citizenship. Thank you so much for having me here. America first.
Okay, wait. So also, you're so opposite of me on a date. I
I'm
don't
so
have
bubbly
time
and
to
fun.
fucking waste. I'm not worried about if that guy's. I used to be like that.
No, of course I'm
I don't
asking
give a fuck
questions.
if you're having a good time. Am I having a good time?
No, I'm not. It's more like I'm nice because I want to have fun too. But I'm saying I'm still going to ask questions so I know whether or not we're going to not date again after the first date. So it is still an interview, but I'm saying.
Is it an interview?
Yes, of course, but in a very bubbly way. So
Okay.
I'll ask some very specific questions.
Tell me what you're asking. Because I'm doing something wrong.
What do you mean?
I went on a date. I don't want to talk about this. Actually, I signed an NDA, so I'm not allowed to talk about it. Can I talk about the experience, even if I sign an NDA, just not specifics? I should know this.
Well, you should probably read through the NDA.
Yeah, I just signed it. Anyways, so I'm curious. We were incompatible, but whatever. When you're on a date, I've also been told a long time ago that they're like, wow, I feel like you're interviewing me. I'm like, well, I am. Like, I want to just get to know you quick so I know if we're compatible.
I think
Like,
there's
it's not my fault that
nothing
you don't wanna
wrong with
answer
that.
my
Also, when you get
questions.
older, you should be more straightforward. A lot of times I think people want to hide their intentions of,
Yep.
oh, I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for anything. If you're looking for marriage, then say that up front.
Yeah.
Because if the person is right for you and the person's also looking for the same thing, you can't lose them. You literally cannot lose someone that's actually interested in you. But you can lose someone that's not interested in you. And also, because I'm so in my head on how great I am, when I go on dates, I'm not sitting like, do they like me? Blah, blah. It's more like I'm trying to figure out if I like them.
Right,
but I'm
of
just
course.
so focused on myself. So then I say something funny and I laugh at my own joke. And I'm thinking, I'm so funny. And then
having
I'm
a
like,
great
it makes
time.
me fall in love with myself in that moment.
Are you a narcissist?
I do no, it's called, this is actually, what I'm doing is actually a healthy way of self-love.
Okay.
Because a lot of people who may date.
I love myself too, for sure.
Right, but a lot of people may date, they do it for outside validation. I'm not doing it for outside validation because then if someone leaves me, it's not going to break me.
Totally.
Who I am, my self-worth is not going to break.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sad because I'll be lonely.
Yeah.
But it won't break me because I don't give a flying F if they like me or not. It doesn't change who I am.
I feel the same way.
I'm very true to myself.
Yeah.
But it helps me fall in love with myself when I date because I get to see the sweet side of myself that I don't show as often in business, in work. When I'm writing, when I'm doing this, I'm more serious. When I date, I turn off my brain. I'm in my feminine era. I put on cute little dresses. I love to dress up. And I always like, do you like this outfit or do you like this outfit? And I literally love having a crush. Like I love dating. Look how much I'm lighting up.
Now?
No, I don't.
Sucks.
But it's fine. I'm going to Miami, so I'll find it there.
You're going to find a crush in Miami. You're only there for 1 month.
That's a long time.
How long do you have a crush for usually? A couple weeks?
I mean, if I find my life partner, that's a lifetime of a crush.
So is that the level of progression? You find someone, you go on a date or two, you have a crush, and then it progresses into
my
monogamy?
hardest time is to not end up in a relationship. That's like always the hardest thing for me.
Oh, you feel like you do end up in relationships
so that's
too
why
much?
a lot of times there's such a gap between my dating because if I leave, because it's like a whole screening. First, I don't really like to get on dating apps. If I finally get on dating apps, it's almost like I have to think I want to go out, and then whoever's in front of me on the dating app, I'm like, okay, you'll do.
Yeah.
Then it goes through a screening of, I don't like small talk. It's a very Russian thing. So I don't do the texting.
I don't either.
Then I say, let's schedule a call.
I'm in my feminine, but I'm like, let's schedule a call.
So
see if we're compatible. Let's do a FaceTime.
Well,
I'll send you a Zoom link.
A couple of months ago, I remember 6 months ago, I went on a date and it was a dinner date. And within the first 5 minutes, I knew it wasn't for me.
Okay, so what do you do in that situation?
I wanted to kill myself.
Do you endure the whole fucking date, like dessert and everything?
I started drinking. Like I'm not a drinker, so I just started drinking. And the hardest thing is I can't fake it if I'm not interested. So much I can have fun, I can't fake it in a way where I don't want to ask questions if I don't care to get to know someone.
Right.
And that's the struggle. Because then I run out of questions to ask.
Because you're uninterested.
Yeah, like I even remember one time I met a guy last year in Aspen during like a few days before Valentine's Day. And he's like, ask me anything you want. Like I'm an open book.
I don't care
And I
about
literally
you.
was like, and we were making out and everything.
Oh.
And I'm like, I just looked at him and I was like, I just don't really have any questions for you. I guess I don't really care to get to know you. Because I'm just very honest. I just didn't know what to say. But it's true. What's the point? Why would I ask? I don't like
hot
small
and you
talk.
wanted to make out with him.
Yeah, I just wanted to make out with him. Yeah, it wasn't that deep.
I'm very direct like that too, for sure. If I'm like, hey, I'm not really feeling this. We're totally incompatible, but you are hot, so let's just have a good time. Like I'll straight up just say that.
Like usually I do this test when I go on a date, and this is where it's less proper, but it's in my head. I'm like, do I see myself giving, if we dated exclusively? Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Because
I don't sleep around. But if, let's say I date with this person exclusively months later, do I see myself giving this person head? Like if I saw their O face, would it gross me out or would it turn me on? And like that's within the first 5 minutes, I can then decide.
But don't you have to kind of know what he's working with?
I can tell right away.
You can tell from looking at somebody if they've got...
First 5 minutes of conversation, just by how they're moving, I can tell if they're anxious or what. I don't know how to explain it.
You can tell if they're well endowed below the waist?
I'm not thinking about their penis. I'm talking about...
I'm sorry. So you're more concerned with somebody's O face than their actual penis.
I'm thinking if I'm physically attracted to someone or not. I'm not attracted to men by looks. So it's really hard for me. Like I can see someone and be like, oh yeah, I guess they're handsome.
Okay.
But I find most men, I'm not attracted to them.
Unattractive.
No, I don't want to say unattractive because like I love men. They're sweet people.
Who's like, okay, but give me like a celebrity crush.
Well, until a couple of days ago, because I just saw a video of him at the YSL show. But Aaron Taylor.
I don't even know who that is.
Are you joking?
No. Aaron Taylor?
Am I saying it wrong? What's his name?
Aaron Taylor. Hold on, let me look it up really quick. Aaron Taylor. You're saying it wrong. I'm sure. This guy. look.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
This guy.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aylin?
Hello?
I'm sorry. There's no way this is yours. That is your celebrity crush?
Okay, well, yeah, this is what I mean.
I'm sorry, I'm not judging you.
I don't have a look. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a look. Like I've dated.
You kind of look like him.
Oh my gosh, maybe that's why I
Wait,
think
look
so.
at this picture of him. You kind of look like him.
You think I
Same
look like
features.
that? You think I look like this?
Light eyes. You
Really?
have to look up and close. That actually kind of looks like, look at the nose, look at the eyes, the lips.
Okay, well, that's probably why then. Have you ever seen lesbian relationships? They look the same.
And dogs and their owners, they usually look similar.
Oh.
Okay, he's hot. He is hot.
Okay, it's fine. You don't have to be nice to me.
Okay, so you don't have a type.
I don't have a type, and it has to be a personality, or they have to have a characteristic that I really like.
Okay.
So that's usually how I end up being drawn to someone. And then within the first 5-10 minutes, I can tell that I'm feeling it or not. With that guy, I was like, shit, I messed up. But he put so much effort to go through the date and to impress me. So I stayed. And a few drinks in, I was like, are you on antidepressants? Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So things like that. And that's when I'm like, okay, that's how you know I'm not interested in someone.
Totally.
But then after that, I said, from now on, schedule a call. So then it's always, okay, let's FaceTime first.
So you do that.
Yes.
I've been told I should do that, but I never do.
It's so much better. I schedule a call. They obviously plan it. They give me a few days and times, like a business. We schedule it. We have the FaceTime. And I remember the last guy I dated, we had a FaceTime and we vibed so well. We ended up being on FaceTime for 3 hours. And that kind of gives me a better idea of how, because then sometimes, a lot of times you meet someone, you realize, oh, the way they text and the way they're in person, two different people. Because ChatGPT was texting for them.
Fuck.
So we vibed. And then on my first date with this guy, we also connected really well.
Okay.
So then I'm like, oh, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to date this person. And then
you
he
dated
thought
him.
the same way, the same thing. Yeah, but my problem is that earlier when I was describing, I love dating. I love wearing cute outfits. So then after a while, I forget they're even there. It's like the relationship is
you get bored?
No, I forget that they're there because I'm just so happy with having a crush that I'm not even assessing anymore. Like, is this the right person for me? It's more like, yep, you're my boyfriend.
Oh my God. I wish it was that easy for me. I don't really like anybody.
Yeah, but it takes me months in between. So
I like the really toxic ones and it becomes a crush because like I have ADD and so it's just a hyperfixation.
No, that's what happens.
Oh, it's just a hyperfixation.
Yes. Yeah. And then we ended things and I haven't looked towards a man in 3 months. I haven't even left my house. I actually broke 2 of my feet. I fell down my stairs.
What? You fell down your stairs?
I jumped off a stair first in a whimsical way because I was on my date with the guy.
In a whimsical way?
Yeah, I was just feeling so happy. We're about to have a good date and I was like, whoop. And then my foot went,
oh my gosh.
Because I went on my tippy toes and I broke my foot. I didn't realize that night that I broke it yet.
I think I remember seeing this
actually. And then I broke it. And then like 2 weeks later, I broke up with that guy. And then that same day, I fell down my stairs and I injured my other foot. And I was like,
it's been a rough
so
few
annoying.
months for you.
It's been a really rough few months for me. Yeah, it was pretty rough, but
I actually haven't left my house for 3 months. I actually broke both of my feet.
Yeah, and then the cool thing about that is like the guy liked me so much, and then when I broke up with him, I was just like, maybe it was a mistake, and whatever feelings he had for me turned off within the minute I broke up with him.
Really?
Like that person was gone, and I was just like, I've never experienced that before. I guess I thought I had avoidant tendencies. I did not know avoidant. It was like
that severe.
It felt like he died, or I died. Like it's like
you're like, wait, there's no going back at all.
No, you start to question. You're like, does this person ever like me? I'm so confused. But I think in the end of the day, everything is for the best. So what was meant to happen? Obviously, I guess I was meant to break my 2 fucking feet.
That's
and then
crazy.
Sorry for swearing. And then
that's crazy.
This person just not caring if I live or die.
Yeah,
that's fine. And then at the same time, I decided to leave my podcast network, and I felt so uninspired with work. So the thing is, when you feel like you hit rock bottom, it means that you're finally standing on something.
Or you can actually go, whenever you feel like you've hit rock bottom, you can actually go lower than that.
Yeah, that's the scariest part. When you think like it can't get any worse, it gets worse. You're like, oh my gosh, when will it stop?
I don't want to go any lower.
But I'm the type of person where if I ever feel sadness or I feel depressed, it's never because, like even after the breakup with the guy, I didn't go to thinking, oh, I must be so unlovable. Why does no one love me? Or I have no I'm not worth anything. Because I think a lot of people, when they feel depressed, those are the thoughts they go to. But I always think highly of myself. Like, I know I'm lovable. Like, I know I'm great. I know anyone would be lucky to have me. But when I feel depression, like when I was already breaking up with a guy, is because I felt uninspired to work. And for me and my sister's the same way. It's because my dad instilled in us to work really hard. Is that if I don't feel like I have a purpose, I don't understand the point to live. And I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's not that I'm suicidal. I just start to feel nothing, and I start to question, what's the
Apathy.
point? Why am I here? What am I doing? So it's like I'm dead inside. I have no emotions. That's why I dumped that guy. That's why
you're uninspiring me.
And both of my feet were broken. I can't move,
so
and
depressing.
I would just be staring at the wall for hours. I'm not excited about my podcast. I don't feel like writing because I have to finish my book. So it was more, I have no purpose. And that's what it was like.
Do you know what dharma is?
No.
Dharma? It's your purpose. I think it's an Indian phrase, and it basically means once you find your actual true, like what you were put on this earth to do, your dharma, every door opens for you. You have extreme amounts of joy, like success, money, financials, like everything just falls into place. It's like your true purpose on this earth, and it brings you actual joy, and it's like gives you purpose in life. And when you find that, it's like you've struck gold.
Really?
Dharma, look it up.
What's your purpose?
I honestly think my purpose is to be a mother.
Oh,
Because I started having kids so young, and I love helping people. I don't know if I found
wait, you have more than one?
I have two. Yeah,
Holy
my daughter's
shit.
16. Jacob's going to be 12 this year.
Oh my God.
And that's why also people are like, oh, you're crushing it and like doing this and doing podcasts and social media and real estate. I'm like, I don't even want to be really doing any of that. I'm just doing it like because I have to, and it's like, the things, because I have two children to feed. But like, I was very happy being like, I want to work because I want to work, not because I have to work. That would be my ultimate goal. And I just love being a mom. Like, that's my number one.
I think a lot of people don't like to hear that when someone says that, because it feels going against patriarchy or whatever people say. But I agree with you. My mom felt that way, and she said that when you become a mother, you think you know love until you become a mother.
Oh my God,
and that's
crazy.
the type
There's nothing like it. That's why also when people are like, I set a boundary, I don't talk to my parents. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like,
my sister and her husband also feel that that's their purpose. He actually told me that. I said about the purpose stuff, and then he said, honestly, I feel like I found my purpose when I became a father.
Absolutely. And forever. That's something that's forever.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean? But that's definitely my it's my greatest honor of my entire life, is being a mom to my kids. It's like my favorite thing.
Well, you're a great mother, so that makes sense.
I feel like I'm a great, but then we always have the mom guilt, and it's like, oh, are we doing, and it goes by so fast. But I definitely, you're
very motherly.
I love being a mom.
My friends who are mothers, they definitely have that mother vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but it's there.
Not everybody though is like that. And I have a few friends that I feel like have struggled with just the idea or allowing that to be their truth, where they're just like, I'm not as maternal as maybe I should be, quote unquote. And I'm like, okay, but that's okay. Like, that's not something I feel like you can learn to be.
Everyone's different. And
Everyone's
also
different.
If you grew up maybe with a mother that wasn't as loving, then you might struggle with that. It's not personal. Or you might be the opposite. Like my father's father being an alcoholic and a cheater, my dad wanted to be the opposite. He chose to break that link. And then I grew up without any hugs or kisses in my family. And my love language is literally touch. Because when I got old, it wasn't when I was younger, obviously, but when I got older, I chose to break that generational link. And we all kiss and hug. I kiss my parents in the mouth now.
You told me that. You're like, give me some tongue. I think, too, it's way harder. That's why when you were talking about your dad earlier and like how he recognized something and was like, he wanted to change that, and he didn't like that that's how you felt. And he didn't realize even before that moment that is how you felt. It is so much harder for somebody to go against the grain than with the grain, meaning like how you were raised and what you've been conditioned to do, how you've been conditioned to love and do all of the what makes you by what you experienced as a child and how your parents were, whoever your caretaker was. It's so much harder to change that and go against it than it is just to be exactly how they are. So like whether you had alcoholic parents, like it would be way easier for you just to be an alcoholic. Whether you hit your kids, it'd be way easier for me just to do that. That's what I know. Than to break that. It's so much harder to break the pattern.
Yeah, because you see men who cheat, you find out that their fathers were always cheating on their mother. So it is, you're right, it is so much harder.
It's so much more respectable too.
I love the fact that my love language is touch, and I am so touchy with my partner. But when I date, I definitely fall in love with myself. It is hard for me to find someone that I like. But of course, I guess I can still be very analytical, but I think I'm much warmer, and I really like that warm side of myself that comes out. But I think the right partners bring out your softer side. So
100%.
if as a woman you're dating and you notice that your masculine side comes out, or you're more like, do this and do that, and I need to plan everything, to me, in my opinion, that tells me if you're becoming someone's mother, then you're in the wrong relationship. But if you become kind of more of a, not a child. Okay, like here's an example. Like one thing that I would say is very not unpopular opinion. What's that word? Something that I do that's not, I would say most people, it's going to make me sound silly. Like doesn't matter how feminist I am, how feminist I become, one thing will always stay true, well, aside from the man needing to, open my car door and do all that stuff. I'm very Russian in that way. We don't believe in 50-50. But except that, I love it. And I will always need my partner, my man, to order my food for me. And I know it's going to sound so insane when I say that, but it's not for the reasons that you think. Because it sounds like, I don't want to speak to the waiter, please, you speak to the waiter, or the fact that my man will speak for me. It's not that. It's because my greatest strength is being detail oriented, but it's also my greatest weakness. So I'm overly detail oriented, and I will overly focus on things. Like even for example, right now, when I came here, I also packed an outfit in case you would be wearing something more fancy. And then I figured out this outfit. Then I brought makeup, and I was like, well, what kind of lipstick? Well, I guess I have to bring 2 different lipsticks. So I overly put thought, and I waste too much time. So when I see a menu and there's just so much food, it kind of reminds me of if you're shopping online on Amazon, let's say. I will put 20 things into my cart, and then I go through the 20 things, and I'll start to think, which one do I like? Then I slowly start taking things out. So that means if I'm actually at a restaurant and I see a menu, we will be there for 3 hours if I had to pick my food. And I'm just not I'm not a foodie person. Like I eat to survive, not because I'm obsessed with it. So I love it with my partner. And I feel like it also makes my partner excited that he gets to make a decision for me. So I like both of those things. For me too. I'm like, I think I make so many decisions every day. Like I don't want to make certain decisions. I don't even want you to ask me where I want to go. I just want you to decide. And it also allows him to feel like a man. Like I remember, because we'll go to a restaurant and I look at the menu and be like, and they'll be like, do you know what you want? And I just go,
yeah.
And he feels so good about himself because
I feel like they stumble though. A lot of times I do that and I'm like, just order or just pick where we're going to go. And they're like, I don't, too much pressure. I'm like, grow a fucking pair.
Okay, well, I don't do that. It's more like, do you know what you want? And I just, with my hard eyes and loving, because I'm just so happy they're ordering for me. And then they're just so excited to order for me.
People are just afraid of me. I don't know.
The guy that I dated, he normally would pick 3 different restaurants. And then when he come over to pick me up, then he would say, okay, I did a French place, a sushi place, and this place. What are you feeling like? And then I get to pick one. And then he feels so proud that
That's nice.
But that's the whole thing. You have to allow, and it sounds so silly, I feel like I'm in the 40s, but you have to allow men to be men.
Of course.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah. But a lot of men don't know how to be men. But everyone says LA sucks for dating. It sounds like you've got some decent candidates.
The guy who never spoke to me again?
You broke up with him, first of all. You mean after you broke up with him? Maybe that was just a healthy boundary. Second of all, you've got a man saying, I made a reservation for a French restaurant, an American restaurant, or a Chinese restaurant. What do you feel like? Like that's... Okay. I've got guys that are like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do tonight?
But that is...
I'm like, ew, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Well, that's because it's important to weave out men like that. When you choose your standards and you know who you are, a lot of times people think, well, I worked on myself. I'm a great catch. How come I'm still attracting those type of men who don't meet my standards?
Right.
They make me feel like, hello, like, am I not enough? Like, why would they even think that would be okay with me? The thing is, when you're a great person like that, you actually end up attracting everyone. And everyone, that pool will include the narcissists or cheaters or men who don't put in effort. That has nothing to do with your value. That's just where their capacity of what they're able to come to regardless of who you are.
Yep.
You can literally have magic and that won't be impressive enough for them to want to drive all the way to you and pick you up. So it's when you get to a place where you have your own self-worth and understanding of who you are, knowing that how they show up has nothing to do with you. That's when you're able to use your own discernment and weave out people who are not right for you.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't take it personally. Because I've had it before when someone...
disappointing.
Yeah, I've had it before where someone wants to go out on a date with me and then they live in Venice. And I was like, well, I live in wherever I live. So you're going to come pick me up. And he goes, that's really far. Can we meet in halfway? And I said, listen, how I like... It wasn't a big deal. I said how I like to do things. I like the person picking me up, opening my car door, taking care of me. That's what I like. And he said, that's not really my thing. And I said, that's totally fine that we're not compatible. But it wasn't offensive. Like, how dare you? Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Because why is my ego attached to this?
No. Yeah,
Thank you. You made it so much easier for me.
100%.
A couple months later, he hit me up again and I blocked him. So I was like, why are you texting me? It's weird.
I thought you were like that. What do you mean halvesies aren't your thing?
Yeah, but I think a lot of times we take offense. We attach our self-worth to how someone else might react to us.
I do still do that a little bit. Like the other day this morning, I was telling my girlfriend and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I miss him. Like, why do I miss this man? You know? She's like, you don't miss him. She's like, you just miss that he's not begging for you. And I'm like, well, he couldn't. He's blocked, you know? But she's like, you don't miss. I'm like, but I do.
Yeah, so is mine. He's blocked on everything.
I miss like, not the horrible things. I miss the good parts. You know what I mean?
You miss the attention or you miss, sometimes a lot of times we miss having someone or we miss the closeness that we felt.
The comfortability too.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's not that person. But that's why you need Russian friends or Russian sister. I remember
100%.
2 weeks ago, I was sitting with my sister and she's very Russian. And I go, I don't know, I feel like I kind of miss him. What? Okay, but he doesn't give a shit about you. Like, why do you even miss him? He doesn't like you. If he liked you, you guys would be together. Are you together? No, because he doesn't like you. So, like, move on. And it was like, by the way, I never bring things up, like, about men ever.
Yeah.
It was the first time I because I keep it to myself because I get so embarrassed if I miss someone. It just blurted out. And I was just like, well, I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I think I just want to be alone.
You're like, okay, well, I'm an idiot. Thank
But when I told my friend that she did that, she goes, V, that's literally how you give advice.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay,
but I can give advice like that. Like, that sounds like something I would say to one of my girlfriends.
Yeah.
But I can't listen to that all the time.
No, but she was right. He doesn't care about me. Like,
yeah.
Because afterwards, I remember like a few days after that or something, I texted him something nice and he didn't respond. I'm like, oh, my sister was right. And you know what? I did that and I wanted to feel shame for a second for sending that. And I go, you know what? I'm a loving person. And because I'm so loving, I genuinely have so much left to give. Like it's...
Did you break up with that guy or did he break up with you? Or was it mutual or what?
I broke up with him. What's the big
See,
what
that's
does
what I
matter?
mean. Doesn't it make you feel fucking crazy? Like when you break up with somebody and then you're like, okay, but I miss you. And I do. I feel fucking crazy.
I can't. I'm so unpredictable. I don't even know what my next move is. So no, it doesn't make me feel crazy because I'm like, I'm so predictable that it makes me so predictable.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel crazy.
I'm not shocked by anything that I do anymore.
But I also don't feel that type of shame of reaching out or whatever because sometimes, it's like, well, this person did this. Because I always think, at least I'll try. Like, sure, maybe my actions were wrong. And it feels a little insane to be like, leave me alone, to, hey, how are you?
Right.
Or let's be friends. Whatever it is that I do, that's just my process.
Like, whatever.
But at least I tried.
Yeah.
And then I can finally release. Because after that, when he didn't respond, I was going to feel shame. But then I said, I have so much love to give that like, there's no scarcity in it.
I get it. Yeah.
Like I don't become less loving just because someone didn't want to accept it. So I'm like, okay, his loss. And then I blocked him and everything. And I let it go.
You give yourself a lot of self-love, which I think is something that a lot of people could take a page from your book.
But then I feel the loss when I don't have a purpose. So I think we all have our own. Yeah. Like it's the same thing if someone feels worthless and no self-love versus I'm dead inside and I don't see the purpose of life. And if I die tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Because I have no purpose. Luckily, I refound my purpose.
Yeah,
so
I love
it's
that
fine.
for you. Okay, well, it's been lovely having you here. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
So they can find me on my meme page at daddyissues_ or my personal Instagram, Violet Benson, or my podcast, Almost Adulting, is back starting in February because I'm switch networks and we're signing the contract end of this week. So tomorrow. So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be really good. And of course, by the end of this year, my book should be coming out, self-help book.
There you go. There you have it. Thank you so much for being here. I know you've had a long trek out from LA. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm sorry if the conversations were too serious.
No, you're great. You're a well-rounded person. That's why I love you. With the conversations, there's highs and lows. That's life. That is life.
Okay. I would like to also say that if you are feeling low or not great, and it's so easy to isolate yourself, because I obviously do that, but I think it's so important to sometimes even force yourself to get out of the house or to be around people, because whenever I'm around friends, I'm a very antisocial person. It's like, it's the craziest thing when you can watch the people who love you want to love you. And also you get to watch how they see you through their eyes. Like even you right now, when you give me those random compliments, whether you're just trying to be nice or not, those moments allow me, again, to re-fall in love with myself, because it's those sweet little moments where I'm like, oh, wow, someone else sees me a completely different way than I see myself. Absolutely. So I do think it's so important, as even if you're incredibly antisocial like me, to sometimes leave your house, because you'll be surprised by how much it'll make your day better.
Well, and if you're surrounding yourself with the right people who are giving you that, I don't want to call it validation, but building you up, because some people just aren't fucking like that. And some people don't give people compliments or let you see yourself through their eyes either.
Yeah.
And you want to surround yourself with good people, because I'm very antisocial too. It takes a lot from my tank to be like going to do something with other people outside.
Me too, but whenever I leave my house, I am really happy that I did it.
Yeah, you got to sometimes, that's what I literally say, do it sad, do it hard, do it depressed, do it scared, just do it. Like go out and actually do it, because you do feel better. I agree. And the more you isolate, the more that feeling just kind of ruminates and just becomes, you got to get out of the house.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to Miami. So find me in Miami.
Find her in Miami, you guys. Hope you love the episode. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.